Let's get this trailer connected. I promise there's a trailer back there. You can see it a little bit better with the lift gate open, and that makes it really easy to connect up. The trailer is all hooked up, which is fantastic because look at this grass. We needed to put the trailer in for service, which means we can't cut the grass, which doesn't help anything because I don't know if you guys can see this, but look at all of these mosquitoes. This is just ridiculous. It has been a while since we have done a video on the channel, mostly because we have had 6 months of winter with huge amounts of snow. There's a picnic table in the yard that I normally do a lot of video recording from, and that picnic table got buried 3 times under the snow. It was kind of ridiculous. I am now headed to the tractor dealer to pick up my tractor so that I can cut that grass that I just showed you, and it's not a job I'm looking forward to with all of those mosquitoes. Here's the reason why we have all those mosquitoes. That snow that I mentioned that covered over the picnic table before had all melted and formed a pond in my yard, which is not normally there, and stagnant water breeds mosquitoes. I'm not looking forward to cutting the grass. Right now, however, I am getting another load of stuff out of the house. I am taking it down to the thrift store. At this point, it is never leave the house without getting rid of something. I don't care what it is. If we take the trash out, great. If we take something to the storage unit, great. If we take something to the thrift store, great. Now, if I can do the trifecta of going to all 3, that's fantastic. And the thrift store trip is done. Now I gotta see if I can get this trailer out of this little neighborhood. Empty trailers make so much noise. It's a lot of fun. So, where are we in the journey? We are at the point where the house is almost empty, the garage is almost empty, the pole barn is almost empty, and now we're doing a couple of little things left before we can get the, bumpy road, before we can get the house for sale. So we have replaced the ceiling in the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and the main bedroom in the house. So that's pretty much every room on the main level of the house has now got new drywall, mud, and paint on it. We have to re-level the floor in the living room and dining room. Currently I live in a travel trailer. I used to live in a 100-year-old farmhouse, and the floors looked kind of like this. So what we did was we got the floors nice and level. We put down a new subfloor. We're gonna put some carpet down. And as soon as the little tiny things are done and the house is completely empty, we will get the house on the market. One more thing I need to do, we bought an old farm. It's got 38 acres. It's split into 2 parcels, one for the house, one for the land. The housing market is up since when we bought the house, which was a little over 10 years ago. And so there is some savings there. Well, there's some earnings, some stored value there, where the current real estate market makes the house worth more than what we paid for it. So we're going to keep the land, and that's going to give us the ability to drop a trailer on the land if we ever need anything. Summers and falls in Wisconsin are absolutely unbelievably fantastic. We're currently sitting at 77 degrees right now. It is the last week of May, and it doesn't really get hot until August, and in August our heat is going to be mid-80s for a couple of days. So you need air conditioning for like an hour in the afternoon just to cool the house off, and then you're fine for going to sleep at night because the temperature drops to like 65 at night. It's fantastic. Very long days. It's light from like 5 a.m. until about 10 p.m. like almost daylight at 10 p.m. It starts to get a little dim at 9, and then you go in around 10. Again, the area up here is fantastic. I love it. It is the winters that we are moving away from and the salt that we are moving away from. No salt on the roads. So that's another thing that we're doing. I have a truck that I'm purchasing from Arizona today. It's going to be flat towed out here by an auto transporter, which is going to save me 3 days of my life. I was going to fly out and bring it back, and now I don't have to do that. And it's not as bad as you might think. It's like $750 to have the thing hauled out here on a trailer. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the southern rust-free states to the Twin Cities is a routine route for these people to get good quality vehicles up here at a decent price. So that will be on the channel coming up soon. And I just wanted to give you an update that season 2 is kicking off with this video. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We'll have a lot more updates as we get on the road. We have a couple of trips planned. We're going to Iowa City in July, and that's going to be our first We Have No Home trip. And then from there, we need to go to Huntsville, Alabama for the Huntsville Ham Fest in August. We all hang out at Montesano, which is a state park that is up on top of a mountain. And there will be quite a lot of us there for our annual Huntsville reunion. That will be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody that shows up. All right, well, I've got a new tailgater back there. If you prick me, I bleed Kubota orange. Fantastic tractor. I've had it for about 5 years now. I had 2 other tractors before this one. This one has been fantastic. And I needed to take it in for a little bit of service. And what it needed was the mower deck needed to be rebalanced and welded in a couple of places. And it looked like it might have needed new spindles. And by the time I added all that stuff up, it was just easier to give it to somebody else. And I thought that when I gave it to somebody else to fix, it would be done by the time I got back from Dayton Hamvention this year. Wow, bumpy road. All right, now we're out of the bumpy road part. So it took an extra week. I guess it's parts shipping and installation and so forth, trying to figure out what all was going wrong with it. They did a fantastic job. So far, I got to get out and get the grass cut with it, and then I will know for sure. So stay tuned for more videos coming up about getting out of the sticks and bricks. Until then, there is a video over here I think you'll enjoy next. Let's get started living for a living.